Hey fellow comrades, boys in here, and today we're gonna be having a match against Tommy. Now this match in particular, I've kinda decided to use stuff that I don't use that often, such as my Porygon, my Ditto, as well as my Muck. Porygon in particular is one of my favorite Pokemon. It probably goes into my top 10 because ever since Red and Blue days, I always was a fan of Porygon's design. It wasn't on par with, when it comes down to his stats, it was pretty lackable, but I just found it interesting and I grew to love that Pokemon ever since. But anyways, with that being said, let's get right into it, shall we? I'm actually going for the Will-O-Wisp, skillfully dodge that and banking on me being Choice Scarf because it is the most standard feint on Ditto, not to mention it is like the only set that is recommended on Smogon. He banked on that. Unfortunately, that is not a move, so I managed to skillfully bluff this whole way through. Luckily, he didn't stay in with his Binet right there, but we definitely put him into a position where he had to go into full reverse, go back and play accordingly in order to handle me. So Shadow Claw is gonna be the move coming into his face right now. The Circus Monkey isn't really liking that, but we are gonna need to switch out. Now being Par Ghost, he's not gonna go for close combat, probably. Kind of fearing that he's gonna go for it, but luckily that was not the case. Being that we are specially defensive, we can easily take that. And in case he does stay in, I just want to go for Earthquake just in case. The thing is that he could have switched out to Tentacool as well, put up the rocks, expect me to put up the rocks and play accordingly, but it was actually his Vigoroth coming in. I guess I could have Toxic back then, but I didn't. And I'm thinking he's gonna Toxic me now. The way he switched out Vigoroth against my substitute Binet back there, it kind of got me thinking that he's a more of a tanky set. So I'm kind of thinking maybe he was running Toxic. Anyways, we both switch out in the same turn. He switches out to Tentacool, I switch out to my Duosion, slap Eviolite away, which is a really horrible thing to do to the poor Duosion right now, because it kind of likes Eviolite, so that definitely did kind of kill my defensive bulk. But we're gonna manage as the guy goes for the U-turn with his Volbeat. Definitely not something we were expecting. I mean, Reflect on switch a Volbeat, and it goes through the Reflect as well as, not to mention, it goes through the resistances I have. So that was an incredible damage by Volbeat. Plus, majority of times, this is coming down from my past experience. 9 out of 10 times I faced Tail Glow and Core Volbeat, so I was kind of expecting him to go for the Encore back there. But that was definitely not the case, as that single one Volbeat was the element of surprise. So yeah, good move on his part. Anyway, Scald was unfortunately not enough to take me down, even with well, especially with my Solid Rock, even with 4-time weakness. The ability was the one that stood out right there, right then. Managed to survive and retaliate with an Earthquake, which was enough to take that Tentacool down. Didn't put any pressure on him putting up the Toxic Spikes, but then again, I could have probably transformed into either his Victreebel or Tentacool afterwards and kind of absorb Toxic Spikes after that. So that would have been, it would have kind of work itself out. It still depends, but I'm pretty sure it would have worked itself out before switching out to stuff like this. But with that being said, Victreebel was enough to take down my camera up. Switching out this, go for the Trick Room after he switches out to Moonferno directly on the Pokemon such as it. I was not expecting him to do such a move, but Trick Room is gonna make me faster. I took down the Moonferno after getting a special attack increase, and Porygon is an incredible Pokemon. I mean, it really gives you thinking. If a Pokemon has equal defense to your special defense, you may just give it a little bit more special defense just so this Porygon is gonna get an attack increase instead of a special attack increase, because Porygon with Eviolite with an attack increase is a very powerful threat and it's got very good defenses. With Trick Room, he is faster than majority of things. His speed is like down with Slowbros and so forth. Yeah, it's definitely a Pokemon to not be really messed around with. But I didn't really want to stay in against the Volbeat. I switch out to my Ditto and he did Break after that, I believe. Then he switches out to this, as I believe I did go for Ice Punch. We did get a freeze, so we keep on using the Ice Punch, may as well. And after that he did get a Curse Body, totally ruining our Ice Punch, making us more focusing on his other movesets at his disposal. So he's got like U-turn, he's got Break, he's got something else that I'm really not too familiar with right now, but whatever the case, I did go for the Tailwind, kind of supporting myself, my teammates, by switching out to my Warlock. I was thinking, well, with the Tailwind I can probably outspeed, but To my surprise, that I believe will not be the case, as you're gonna see in a second right now. Or maybe no, he is still faster, which is kind of incredible. Really shows this is of course running minus nature in speed as well as 0 IVs. You know, just to be sure this guy is gonna get the least speed possible, just so in Trick Room he's like the fastest Pokemon alive. So that's pretty good. Will-O-Wisp unfortunately misses there, and that still gives me the opportunity. I believe the Tailwind actually manages to, yes, exactly, Tailwind manages to run away now, and that's pretty incredible, as Trick Room is gonna make us fast as nothing else. Gonna go for the trick attack. Definitely not the case. Bayonet is gonna go for the Unstab, Sucker Punch. This of course is, if I'm not mistaken, his Adamant Bayonet, and Curse Body is gonna activate, but unfortunately the thing is that it activates a little bit too late, because his Bayonet is the only Pokemon that truly resists, is actually immune to my Tri-Attack. Everything else on his team doesn't really appreciate, especially if you consider that I have my special attack increased right now. So my special attack is on pair with the things like Haxorus when it comes down to its attack, so it can still dish out a considerable amount of damage towards them. And it was Volbeat is gonna get critted. Did the crit matter? Yeah, it probably did, but then again, how far can Volbeat really go? Brick Break would have probably done the same amount of damage as this Victreebel's Giga Drain. The reason I'm saying this is because Brick Break and Giga Drain have equal power when it comes down to their base power, but it's still on stab from Volbeat and still stab on Victreebel. Not to mention that Victreebel, when it comes down to Volbeat and Victreebel, when it comes down to power, this guy is very much stronger than that thing is. So even with super effective involved, I'm pretty sure he would have done around equal damage, maybe a little bit more from Brick Break, but that's as far as he would have gone. So I'd have still two-shot it either way if he didn't have anything else to kind of threat me with. I guess no, with Trick Room even Tailwind would have not been that useful, but still he's gonna go for the Slack Off with his Vigor Off. The reason I switch out to this is because I want to preserve. Let's use a special orientated Muck a little bit. Let's see how far we can actually go. We score a crit, pretty incredible. And here is where I actually start to realize, well, my team would kind of like to have poison, so I would have rather, I'm pretty sure I will put Sludge Bomb on this. I guess I could say that we need as much power as we can get, but to be perfectly honest, I would rather see myself running 5 base power less and have 30% poison chance, you know, instead of 10, because 30% is a lot. You guys know how many times Skull burns. Definitely more times than like T-Bolt paralyzes somebody or Fire Blast burns somebody, just because the chances, the higher chances it actually tends to represent when using it. Still Hidden Power, Ground. I did Thunder the I did Thunder his previous Pokemon, which is kind of funny because this thing is of course Kami, so he's kind of, you know, he's putting the judgment down from the skies above. But it's okay, you know, Warlock is gonna come in, and again we're gonna get a special attack increase. Unfortunately he crit us. I guess I kind of wanted my Muck to be taken down, to be perfectly honest. I could have easily gone for the Sludge Wave and make this Pokemon go down before he would have taken me down. It would have never come down to the second move. But the thing is, I kind of thought that his Bayonet is still alive here, so I decided to go for a recover. Pretty much the only reason I recover. You know, I didn't want to make this game longer, but I really thought that his Bayonet is still alive, so I want to be sure that I can handle it. So I decided to go for the recover there, and as you can see, Hidden Power being unstab really shows, you know, unstab, there is a big difference between stab and unstab when it comes down to damage input. And Hidden Power, it doesn't even look like a two-shot. Even with a crit, it would have not been enough, and that makes my Porygon run train through his Victreebel, and that's gonna be the game for today. So good game, Tommy. Hope you guys have enjoyed this match. Definitely a couple of really interesting stuff, like Ditto not being scarved. People, like I said, you know, we when we face somebody, you know, we expect like the most common, especially like smoke and stuff, that are the most recommended. And that's why the Pokemon that have like big, huge move pools and are hard to predict are incredibly dangerous. And even the things that, but to a certain extent, the more dangerous stuff are the things that people think that they're running the same old set, same old, like Sock running Choice Scarf or Choice Band, either one of those two. If it's running Sup, it's definitely something nobody expects, and that is quite dangerous, you know. It depends on the team you face, it depends on the situation you are given, but it's that one single turn that changes the game. You know, it can change into his favor or into your favor. It heavily depends, but I guess it's more like the more sets it represents, the more hard it is to play gimmicky. The less sets it represents, the easier to play gimmicky, because everybody expects it to run that one set it is recommended on Smogon. So if somebody else runs something different that isn't recommended on Smogon, then if they didn't have any past experience with it, that may take them off guard. And you guys know how important it is to take a person off guard in this kind of games. Anyways guys, that's gonna be it for today, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like this video. Thank you very much guys for your continued support. Until next time, go check out Pyrotos. He makes some great Pokemon Wi-Fi bells, but you guys probably know about him. If you don't, his link will be in the description. Till next time guys, take care, peace.